Hey everyone! In today's episode, we're going to learn how to control the color, shapes, and directional properties of Corona lights in 3ds Max. Let's start with light color. Corona gives us three main ways to control this. First, we have the direct input method. To use this, just click on the color swatch. This opens the color picker where you can choose any color you like. For example, let's try picking a purple color. If you're using the Corona color picker, which I highly recommend, you also get some extra options, like entering a hex value. Let's try typing in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 as an example. This method is great when you need a specific color, but what if you want your light color to feel more realistic, like it will in real life? For that, we can use the Kelvin temperature scale. Most real-world lights are measured in Kelvin, and Corona makes it really easy to use. If you're using the Corona color picker, look at the bottom right corner under the Advanced section. You will find a temperature slider here. We'll use this slider to explore the range of color temperatures. You can also type the Kelvin value directly into the main color section. This is the method I recommend to use because it's faster to access. Let's set the temperature to 2000 Kelvin. You'll notice the light looks very warm, like a candle light. Now let's try 2700. That's similar to a typical incandescent bulb. And if we go all the way up to 7000, the light turns cooler, like a daylight LED. Let's bring it back to a warmer 2700 for now. Here's something important to keep in mind. To keep your lights physically accurate, make sure the white balance in the Corona frame buffer is set to the default value, which is 6500. If you change the white balance to, let's say, 4500, you will see the color of the light change in the render. That means your Kelvin value won't match real-world lighting anymore. So for consistent results, keep the white balance at 6500. If you ever need to find the right Kelvin value for a certain light, just Google Kelvin temperature chart. You will find lots of references with common ranges. And if you're trying to match a specific light feature, check the manufacturer website. They usually list the exact Kelvin temperature there. Alright, now let's look at the third method, using a Texmap. This lets you use a texture to control the light color. I have already created a gradient ramp with some blue and purple tones. Let's apply this map to the light. Now, you can see how the colors from the texture are projected onto the wall. This technique is great when you want to create stylized or artistic lighting effects. Okay, let's use Kelvin again and set the color back to a white at 6500. Now, let's look at the different shapes you can use with Corona lights. You got a few options here: sphere, rectangle, disc, and cylinder. Before we try them out, let's first switch the intensity unit to watts. As we saw in an earlier tutorial, using watts means the light intensity will depend on the size of the light. So by changing the shape and with it the surface, we will see some noticeable effects in the scene. Let's start with the rectangle. This shape emits light downwards from the flat surface, and it follows the direction the light is facing. You will notice there is no light spilling above, and the shadows are more directional. This shape is great when you're simulating things like recessed lighting or light coming from a window. Now, let's switch to the sphere shape. Right away, you will notice the scene becomes much brighter. That's because the surface area of the sphere is larger than the rectangle, and since we're using watts, a larger area means more light. To manage that, we can either lower the intensity or reduce the size of the sphere. In this example, let's just make it smaller. A sphere emits light in all directions from its center. It lights up the floor, the walls, the ceiling, everything. The shadows are cast radially, spreading out in every direction. This makes it perfect choice when you're mimicking a bare bulb or a light that needs to glow all around. Next, let's try the disc shape. It's somewhat similar to the rectangle. It also points light downwards, but from a circular surface. Just like before, we don't get much light hitting above the light. You can actually see the disc shape pattern where the light hits. This shape works well for things like pendant lights or features with downward facing shades. Now, let's move to the cylinder shape. Imagine a fluorescent tube light. That's the idea here. You can rotate it and adjust the size using the length and radius settings. The shadows from a cylinder are pretty unique. Depending on the angle and the placement, the light it casts can change quite a bit. This shape is great when you want a long, narrow light that behaves differently based on how it's positioned. Okay, let's quickly talk about the segment options. These control how smoothly the light shape is rendered. Let's use the sphere light as an example. If we lower the segment's value from the default 16 down to something like 3, you'll notice the shape looks less round, especially in reflections or if the light source is visible in the scene. It will appear more blocky. But here's an important part. Even if it looks rough, Corona still calculates the light as if it's perfectly smooth, so you don't lose any realism in the actual lighting. For cylinders, segments affect the roundness of the body, but keep in mind that cylinders don't emit light from the end caps, just the curved surface. And one last note, changing the segments usually doesn't impact render time. It's mostly about how the light looks in the viewport or in visible reflections. Okay, let's talk about a really useful setting called directionality. You may notice it's gray out and set to 0 when you're using cylinder or sphere lights. That's totally normal. Those shapes are designed to emit light in all directions, so you can't really make them directional like a spotlight. But if I switch back to a rectangle or disc light, you will see the directionality setting become active. Now, watch what happens when I start increasing it from 0 to 1. The light becomes more focused, almost like a spotlight. As we turn the value up, the light beam gets narrow. It starts hitting just the floor and completely misses the wall. Since the light is now concentrated into a small area, that area gets much brighter. This can cause a lot of noise or fireflies in your render. So, if you're aiming for that focus spotlight look, I recommend lowering the light intensity when using a high directionality value. That way, you get the effect you want without overexposing the scene or introducing too much noise. Now, let's talk about the option called Emit on both sides. This setting is only available for lights like rectangles or discs, which normally emit light from just one side. When you enable this option, the light will emit from both the front and the back. For example, with a rectangle light, you will see it lighting both the floor and the ceiling. But keep in mind, it still doesn't emit light from the sides. You may notice a darker band along the thin edge of the light. That's totally expected. And finally, we have the wireframe option. By default, light objects appear as solid white shapes in the 3ds Max viewport, but if you turn on wireframe, the light will show up as an outline instead. This doesn't affect your final render, it's purely a viewport setting, just to help you work more clearly in your scene. You can even adjust the size of the outline if you want. And that covers the essentials of controlling color, shapes, and directionality for Corona lights in 3ds Max. These tools gives you a ton of flexibility to shape your lighting exactly how you want it. Whether you're going for realistic illumination or more stylized effects, hopefully this gives you more control over your lighting setups. Don't forget to share how you're using these settings in your own projects. Drop a comment below. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to click the like and subscribe button. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. And thank you for watching.